Hello and welcome to another episode of the LendAPI Partner Podcast. Today, my guest is Jake Pimentel, who is co-founder and CEO of Atenis Finance. Jake, welcome to the podcast.
Great to be here.
Now, we'll start with that first question, which is, how did Atenis Finance get started?
We really focused originally on AI compliance and focusing on helping compliance officers. But we realized as we started selling, compliance officers don't really have a big budget or can make decisions. And really, if you think of compliance in regards to adding value to the business, it's pretty low unless you're doing SOC 2. And so we were selling more like back office, like complaints management stuff. And we had one company, so we started like all these AI tools, really great, still runs, still have a couple of customers using it. And we started selling that debt collection agencies, found that there's a need there, except they really wanted those tools. They needed us a little bit bigger pain, but they're essentially kind of like dinosaurs in a sense. I mean, they're great people. It's just they use really old technology. I don't mean to talk, bad. It's just all the tech in that space is really bad. So we're lining up some contracts there, and then I had a buddy who was like, "Hey, I need to connect with a collection agency," and he's like, I tried to connect him with one, but he didn't have enough delinquencies or with his loans. It's like, all right, well, why don't we just build you an agentic solution, an AI agentic solution to like service and collect and deal with this for you. Uh, and so we just like scrapped together a couple different like AI products and an MVP, and then it worked. And it's just like, oh, this is cool. It's like, okay, can we just offer this to all lenders and B2B vendors as well? And it's pretty much how I got started. And so really we built an agentic collections and servicing solution for lenders and for vendors, and also have our own legal network for litigation as well. So that's the story of where tennis is at right now.
So you kind of pivoted into where you are right now. You started differently, but then made a pivot to sort of say, hey, this is where actually product market fit is. And that is actually something that people really need. That is very
Yeah.
interesting. Now, what would you say is like that number one use case that you solve for? So, like obviously collections, but how does that work? From where to where do you solve the problem for your customers?
So we're not a collection agency. I'll get that out there. We sell first party software, kind of like LendAPI. We connect to loan management systems, we connect to invoicing systems, and then we spin up ideal workflows. So we use AI phone calls, we use SMS, we use email, and have ideal flows for create interactions for their clients or their customers to actually like create plans, get back on track, and even like settle amounts, right? Sometimes people can't pay it. You want to set up a payment plan. And we do all that. So we have agentic flows. And then we also track conversations as well. So you essentially have a universal inbox of everything that tennis is doing with your customer. So you can see, all right, this person is actually disputing it. This person wants a payment plan. So you see everything all in one spot. It's really cool. And yeah, we're building a lot of other really cool stuff. We also have legal case management. So a lot of times what will happen is, you do everything right, you try and make it work, but you just have some people's like, hey, I'm just not going to pay you. I don't care. I'll take 100K. I'm going to take a 100K loan from over here. I'm going to take a 100K loan from over here, a 200K loan from over here, and just keep taking money out. And all these lenders don't really know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So fortunately, you have to kind of get like, once a lawyer gets involved, usually it's like, oh, these guys are serious. Or that's called like essentially like pre-litigation, pre-claims. Usually, and you never really want to open a suit or anything. Ideally, you avoid that. You settle. That's like probably the easiest, smoothest way. And then we also help with all those processes as well. So that's where it's really, really painful because a lot of these law firms, they don't have great tech either. So we're building for them as well. And so that whole process from, let's say like servicing, us to all the way to legal, post legal, we manage that whole process.
Okay. Now that is very helpful because that can be a very cumbersome process and it can be very stressful as well for the borrower trying to get back up to speed and work something out.
It's more, I mean, it's stressful for them, but it's also stressful for the company. I mean, as bad as it is, and we stay away from consumer. We don't touch anything consumer. It's only commercial. What I found is that's a little better. Like it's really necessary. It's kind of cost of doing business and how do you deal with this in the best way possible where one, you're not creating a bad relationship with your clients or they won't give you a bad review, but two, you do it in the best way possible because really that's what you want to do. You want to help them. You want to get to a resolution that helps your business and helps them.
No, that makes total sense. Now, what is your favorite customer story?
My favorite customer story, I think it's that one actually, because we were just so new. We're like, is this actually going to work? And we started listening to AI phone calls. And there's also a lot of compliance stuff you have to be careful with, especially in this space. But commercial, it's a little less stringent. And when you just like, whoa, the AI is helping them set up a payment plan, all that is just blowing your mind. And with all the customers hearing all the problems and learning from them, like, someone took a chance on us and it actually worked.
Is always very powerful when you solve a real customer's problem, right? When you start a company, you start with an idea and then you come in the real world and then you find out that not everything works exactly how you had it in mind. But then you talk to a customer and they say, hey, this is my real problem. Can you solve it? And it sounds like you've really done that with that customer that helped you
Yeah,
pivot.
and then like every startup, you're going to pivot. I've pivoted so many times in my
Right.
startup career. Yeah, and you can build multiple products too. And essentially, what you want to build is just a platform to help somebody run a business. Ideally, you sell software that helps add a ton of value. That's
As a final question, I got to ask, Atenis Finance, where did that come from? It's such a memorable name, but it also probably references something. So how did you come up with
yeah.
the
We
name
reduce
for the company?
we reduce the back and forth between debtor and creditor. So make it a slam every time.
Atenis Finance. Okay, well, that is probably a good point to wrap up this episode of the LendAPI Partner Podcast. Thank you so much, Jake, for being on it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. And until a next episode, we'll see you again on the LendAPI Partner Podcast.